Hey friends, so welcome back, and as usual today we have a couple scary videos for you, but before we begin, please make sure to like, comment and also subscribe because that's really important to me to make this channel grow. So without further ado, I don't want to waste your time. Dim the light, pull up your blanket or do whatever you do to relax, and as always, I hope you all have a great night. Let's begin.
The first video on today's list comes from a truly strange case shared in the Philippines. According to the woman who recorded the footage, she had been caring for her elderly grandmother, who frequently suffered from episodes of sleep paralysis, and often reported seeing a dark figure standing near her bed during the night. Concerned by these recurring experiences, the family decided to install cameras throughout the house in order to keep a closer eye on her. However, during one of the recordings, something extremely disturbing was captured. Watch closely. A dark and dense, mist-like shape suddenly appears near the area where the elderly woman is lying in bed. Seconds later, one of her daughters enters the room and makes a movement that many viewers believe was an attempt to push something away from the bedside. Unfortunately, there's no way to know whether she was reacting to the strange form captured on camera or simply responding to something ordinary in the room. For many people, this footage represents a genuine paranormal event. Some cultures even believe that dark entities are drawn to vulnerable or weakened individuals in order to feed on their life force. But what do you think? Are we simply looking at a visual anomaly, or could this be evidence of something far more disturbing? A security camera inside a warehouse in Paraguay captured a truly unsettling incident involving one of the night shift employees. In the footage, the worker can be seen walking through the building when he suddenly notices someone who shouldn't have been there at that hour. Curious, he decides to approach the individual and ask what they were doing inside the warehouse. But that's when everything takes a disturbing turn. The employee appears to have a completely normal conversation with the mysterious person and even shakes their hand. During the interaction, the individual supposedly explains that they are waiting for another worker to arrive. However, only moments later, the figure simply disappears right in front of him. Still visibly shaken, the man returns to his station and decides to review the security camera footage. What he discovers leaves him even more terrified. According to the recordings, There was never anyone there besides him the entire time. There are countless stories of workers who claimed to have interacted with people that seemingly only they were able to see. So the question remains, were these simply hallucinations brought on by exhaustion and isolation, or could some of these encounters involve former employees who somehow never truly left the places where they once worked? A woman was at home trying to unwind after a long day at work when late that night she began hearing persistent knocking coming from her front door, since she was home alone and wasn't expecting anyone to visit at that hour. She decided the best thing to do was simply ignore it. After several minutes, the knocking finally stopped. Silence once again filled the house, and believing that whoever had been outside had finally left, she decided to open the door. But what she found, waiting outside, would be only the beginning of a real nightmare.
Hey guys, so I just sat down to watch a movie, and I'm pretty sure I just heard somebody knocking on my door. I'm definitely not hearing things strange. I don't see anybody. Oh, it's not creepy at all. And I don't see anybody. I mean, I'm curious. But there's never anything good in a package on someone's porch after midnight.
As soon as she opens the door, she discovers a mysterious package sitting on her doorstep. The woman remains outside for several seconds, looking around to see if anyone is nearby. But there is absolutely no one in sight, despite feeling uneasy about it. She decides to bring the object inside and find out what was hidden inside. When she finally opens the package, she discovers something as strange as it is unexpected.
Okay, update on the package that showed up at my house the other day. I opened it, and inside it was a creepy old video camera. I don't even know who still uses these anymore. And it was making this weird clicking noise, almost like it was trying to turn itself on. And guys, there's still battery life on this thing. I have no interest in knowing what's on it. And just the presence that I felt when I was holding it, it was creepy. Like, I'm not interested. If you guys know whose camera this is, or if this is a joke that somebody's playing and you want your camera back, please do so, because I put it back in the box and it's just sitting in my living room. I have no idea what to do with it.
Inside the box was nothing more than an old camcorder, no identification, no message, and according to her, no footage stored on the device. It was simply an object that appeared to have no purpose at all, raising even more questions than answers. But it was after that moment that things began to become truly disturbing. The woman started feeling a constant presence inside her bedroom, as if she was no longer alone in the house. The feeling became so overwhelming that she decided to grab a few things and sleep in the living room that night instead. However, when she woke up the following morning, she noticed several objects had been moved out of place and decided to check the security camera footage from the room where she had spent the night. Found in the recording was enough to leave her terrified. After watching the footage, the woman became convinced that she had not been alone that night. Although the movement captured near the door may have had a simple explanation, the feeling of being watched only continued to grow stronger, and a recording she captured shortly afterward seems to only reinforce that suspicion.
I don't know why the lights are on, but I'm going inside of this house. I just heard my sister's voice, and I'm sick of this. And I need to figure out what's going on so I can put a stop to it. This chair in the middle of the floor.
The woman begins hearing her sister's voice, calling out to her from upstairs. From the very first moment, she knew something wasn't right, since her sister had left the house only a few minutes earlier. Even overwhelmed with fear, she decides to confront the situation and head upstairs to find out what is happening. But as she gets closer, she witnesses something truly terrifying. A chair is violently shoved in her direction, causing her to immediately abandon any attempt to investigate further and flee the area as quickly as possible. Now the question remains, by opening the door and bringing that mysterious package into her home, did she unknowingly allow something else to enter along with it? Or is there a much simpler explanation behind all of these events? Share your theory in the comments, because this is definitely one of those stories that leaves behind far more questions than answers. Baby monitors are common devices found in thousands of homes and are meant to give parents an extra sense of security. But it was through one of these devices that a mother in the United States noticed something extremely strange happening inside her daughter's room. According to her, everything happened on what seemed like an ordinary day when she needed to leave her daughter in the playpen for a few moments while she took some laundry downstairs. However, when she returned, she noticed something that immediately caught her attention. Her daughter was holding an object that, according to the mother, should not have been there. She claims she had seen the very same object on the other side of the room before leaving, making it virtually impossible for the child to have reached it on her own. Curious and increasingly concerned, she decided to review the camera footage. What she discovered left her deeply unsettled. In the recording, the little girl can be seen quietly watching television when, at one point, she suddenly turns and appears to stare at something just outside the camera's field of view. A few seconds later, she even begins blowing kisses toward that empty space. Moments later, the object can be seen landing inside the playpen as if someone had tossed it to her. Naturally, the footage left the mother deeply disturbed, especially considering that, at the time, only she and her daughter were inside the house, but that wasn't the only detail that caught people's attention. Near the end of the recording, several viewers noticed that a second object appears to move on its own, this time outside the playpen. And it was precisely the combination of these events that led dozens of people to ask the mother to record a video explaining her side of the story in greater detail.
Okay, so this is my daughter's playpen that she was in when the bottle thing happened. So she was standing right here. The stem would have fallen about here. And as you can see, like directly in front of that on the other side is the toy bin where the bottle had landed. It landed about here. There's nothing around that the bottles could have come from, especially because like they landed straight down. So there's a little dresser, and then over there, and there is where the dressing room is, which is where the bottles were, where I put everything before I went downstairs to take everything out. So really no explanation. There's the monitor that caught it.
Even after sharing her experience, the woman says she still hasn't found an explanation for what happened that day. After all, who is the little girl blowing kisses to? What caused the object to suddenly appear inside the playpen? And was the movement captured moments later simply a coincidence? Or was it yet another sign that there may have been something else inside that room besides the mother and her daughter? On September 21st, 2022, a woman was walking through the back of her property, simply enjoying the peace and quiet of the area, since she lived in an extremely isolated location, surrounded by dense woods, and far away from any neighboring homes. Taking walks like this was a normal part of her routine, but at one point, something unusual caught her attention. A strange movement appeared among the trees, and almost instantly, she felt like someone, or something, was watching her. Startled, she pulled out her phone and began recording what was happening.
Y'all, I could have sworn I seen somebody run through these woods just now. I live in a country, not too many people know about this back here, but I'm telling you, I could have sworn I saw somebody. Oh my goodness. Hey, Zach! I could have sworn. See, Zach, there is a man over there. What? I'm not even playing. You need to go check it out. There is somebody over there.
I'll go check.
Hiding by our tree. Right now, I'm not even. Be careful. I just seen him over there by that tree, Zach. Zach, be careful. I'm not even playing. Zach, he's right there.
As she moves the camera around trying to locate the source of the sounds and movement, a mysterious figure can be seen peeking out from behind a tree. The sighting lasts only a few moments, but it's enough to leave an unsettling impression. Clearly shaken, the woman decides not to get any closer to the figure, and it's at that exact moment that the recording comes to an end, leaving unanswered the question of what she had really encountered out there. But the story was far from over. Later that night, after hearing noises once again coming from the back of the property, the family returned to the area to investigate. This time, however, they captured something even more disturbing.
All right, y'all. This is day 2, and I'm telling you, there is something in those. Oh my goodness, Zach! Yeah. There is something out there, Zach. There is. I'm telling you, you need to go check it out. I don't know what it is. There's something out here. I'm not even playing. Please go and check it out. I'm about to freak. Please. Like, oh my gosh, y'all. Like, there's something out here. I'm not even going no closer because I'm so scared. Zach, I'm telling you, there is somebody or something out here. Zach, I'm not even kidding. Go. Look closer.
Once again, the strange figure appears among the trees. This time, though, it seems to notice their presence and quickly runs off to hide in the vegetation. When the man walks over to investigate, he finds absolutely nothing. No sign that anyone had been there, no sounds, and no obvious explanation for what they had just witnessed. The incident left the family deeply unsettled, and ever since then they've come to believe they may have encountered something far stranger than a simple trespasser, especially because the area where they live has long been surrounded by stories and old legends about mysterious creatures said to inhabit the nearby woods. On November 14th of 2025, a small family rents out an Airbnb for a few days, unaware that they would encounter something very unsettling while staying there. They had booked the place in advance for an upcoming wedding that was out of town, so staying here made sense. But one night, after coming back from walking their dog, this happens.
We were just out walking my dog
And when we came in, we heard
Jesus Christ.
Somehow, the leash on her dog's collar suddenly jolts up in a quick motion before wrapping itself around her dog. It just flings up, as if someone had chucked it upwards. But clearly, no one is seen on the stairs to have done that, which is very odd considering that just moments ago this was heard. Sydney, who recorded this video, was just as baffled as the Airbnb host who received this video from her. But this wouldn't be the only video she sends, because the next day, while placing the leash on the stairs to see if it would jump again, this is captured.
Okay, so this is the leash. There she goes again. I don't think the leash is gonna move, but she's definitely sensing something. Every single day.
Although the leash doesn't move this time, her dog goes ahead and does this. For some reason, it's at the same time the leash is on the steps that her dog begins to search for something. But like before, nothing appears to be there. Sydney even checks the rug to see if anything on or under it was making her dog behave this way. But still nothing. However, there's something in this video that's worth pointing out, and it's a detail that appears in other videos that Sydney recorded of her dog. Watch closely.
So I wanted to show you guys some footage of my dog with these stairs. So here's another clip that I got of her doing it. Walk over and see her, and she was so locked into this.
Now, you didn't notice, in each video, Sydney's dog is always around a certain area of the stairs. It's always the middle or lower half of the steps, but never the top. If it wasn't for this detail, Sydney would not have realized this.
So I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found a door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up. Yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below.
Considering that the space is on the ground, it explains why her dog is never seen on top. She seems to be sensing something that's in this room. But the question is, what exactly is she sensing? Wanting to find out, Sydney and her sister probe around the space to see what it might be that's inside. But during this moment, while recording, they capture this.
So this is the switch. You guys can see the light is on right there. I wonder if
almost immediately after Sydney pulls out her phone, the doorknob suddenly turns. Although no one was seen on the other side, the door handle moves as if held from the other end. Now, Sydney was under the impression that a person had turned the knob, so they reach out to the Airbnb host and ask if anyone else is renting the place.
Sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn asking, like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week.
After finding out that no one else is inside, Sydney concludes that what happened that night wasn't a case of someone co-renting the house, but rather another paranormal occurrence. To her, this is much preferable over having a stranger inside the house. But despite being at ease now, knowing that it's not a person, the doorknob incident still baffles her. This is so, especially given that it still moves now and then.
Scary. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
As it turns out, this room was actually a basement. Out of nowhere, the phone gets yanked in sight before tumbling down the steps and landing on its face. But it's before it tumbles that something weird happens. If you didn't notice, the phone moves on its own again before falling down. But of course, the strangest part is when the phone somehow lifts itself. Neither Sydney nor the Airbnb host could explain this. It just rises up before falling back with no footsteps around to suggest that someone was there. It's no wonder why many see this as being paranormal. To Sydney and her sister, that's exactly the case. Whatever had been inside did not seem to like their intrusion. From the leash moving on its own to the phone being pulled inside, it currently remains unknown as to what exactly occurred here. But as with all videos, be the judge on whether or not something supernatural took place. As always, let me know your thoughts on this one.